All right, let's jump into one of the shortest books in the Old Testament, the book of Haggai. Now, don't let its size fool you. This book, written way back in 520 BC, packs a serious punch. It's one of the most direct, urgent, and practical messages you'll ever find, and it gives us this incredible blueprint for what happens when we finally get our priorities straight.
You know that feeling, right? You're putting in all the effort, you're working your tail off, but it just feels like you're spinning your wheels. You can't seem to get ahead. It's like you're putting your paycheck into a pocket with a giant hole in it. Well, that exact feeling of frustration is what the prophet Haggai tackles head on, and he gives a startlingly clear reason for why it's happening.
So, to get what's going on, you gotta picture the scene. The people of Judah have just come back from exile in Babylon. They're fired up, full of hope, and they're ready to rebuild God's temple. They even get the foundation laid. But then, they hit a wall. People started pushing back, the politics got messy, and honestly, they just got discouraged. So the whole project just grinds to a halt. For 16 years, a decade and a half, that foundation just sits there, an unfinished project, while everybody else gets busy building their own fancy houses and their own lives.
And that's when Haggai shows up. And let me tell you, he is not subtle. God basically asked them this absolutely piercing question. He says, "Look around. You're living in your nice, comfortable, finished houses, while my house is still a pile of rubble." Wow. Talk about a confrontational reality check. He's putting their misplaced priorities right in their faces.
Then, Haggai connects the dots for them. He explains that all that frustration they're feeling, that sense of working hard and getting nowhere, that's not just bad luck. It's a direct result of where they've put their energy. He's basically saying, the reason your life feels so empty and fruitless is because you've completely neglected what matters most to me. It's a crystal clear cause and effect. So what's the solution? It all comes down to this one simple, powerful command that he repeats over and over. Consider your ways. This is the pivot point for the entire book. It's a divine challenge to just stop, to take a hard, honest look at your life, your choices, your priorities, and ask, is this working? What's the real problem here?
And the crazy thing is, it works. The response is immediate and it's unanimous. Everyone gets the message. The governor Zerubbabel, he's on board. The high priest Joshua, he's in. The entire community, they're ready to go. They hear the word, they respect God, and they get back to work. Just like that. So what's God's response to this sudden change of heart? Is it a new list of rules? A tough set of conditions? Nope. It's 4 of the most reassuring words in the entire Bible. I am with you. And get this, he doesn't wait until the job is finished. The promise of his presence comes the very moment they decide to obey and pick up their tools again. Okay, so they're back to building, but a new problem pops up. The older folks, the ones who remember the first temple, Solomon's incredible, magnificent temple, they look at this new one and they're just disappointed. It seems so small, so plain in comparison. But God steps in again, not with a criticism, but with this incredible message of encouragement about the future. He gives them this mind-blowing prophecy. He tells them, hey, stop looking at the wood and stone. The future glory of this temple won't have anything to do with its size or how much gold is in it. The glory of this house will be greater because I myself will be in it. He was pointing to the Messiah, to Jesus, who would one day walk right there in that very temple. Its true glory wasn't the building, it was the person who was coming. And this brings us to a huge takeaway from the book. Haggai totally flips our idea of what blessing is. See, it's not a reward you get after the work is all done. It's not a bonus check. Instead, God's blessing is his power and his presence that comes alongside you the instant you start to obey. The moment they started working again, God said, from this day on, I will bless you. So if we boil it all down, what are the lessons for us today? Well, first, putting off what God wants is still a form of saying no. Second, his plan should probably come before our own comfort. Third, that feeling of true satisfaction we're all chasing, it comes from getting our hearts aligned with his, not just from working harder. And finally, when we actually obey what he's calling us to do, he gives us the power to do it. And those small, faithful steps can lead to a glorious outcome we can never imagine. So Haggai's message isn't stuck in 520 BC. It speaks right to us today. It calls us to do the same thing, to consider our ways, to look around at the unfinished things in our lives, in our faith, in our relationships, and it leaves us with a really big but really hopeful question. What is it that needs rebuilding in your world? And is it finally time to pick up the tools and get started?
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps us.